What is up, math superstars? You notice this might be live because I'm having technical difficulties in my current software. So what we're going to do today is we are going to talk about volume of rectangular prisms and cylinders. And so as I switch over to my PowerPoints, you might also hear some chirping in the background. Those are my birds here. And so let's go ahead and give this a try. We're going to go ahead and rock and roll with our video notes from our current slide. You've probably seen this, but here we go. Volume is what we're talking about today. And so over the next couple YouTube videos here, we'll break it down further with surface area, and then we're going to change the different attributes. And so, but just for today, we're talking about volume. So volume, make sure my pen works. Let's go back. Volume is the measure of units occupied inside of a solid region. So we're going to measure everything in units here. So when we talk about volume, the units will be cubed units. And so in getting cubed units, we're multiplying the length times the width times the height. And so when we multiply 3, you can see that our units right here, centimeters cubed, or to the third power, is when all the edges of this cube right here measure 1 centimeter. So we go 1 centimeter times 1 centimeter times 1 centimeter gives us a cubic centimeter. And to find the volume, so whenever we're dealing with any kind of boxes or anything like that, we're going to use this equation right here. So we figured out that our volume is the length times the width times the height. So let's go ahead and take a look at this example here. And so here we go. We're going to find the volume of the rectangular prism. We're going to go round it to the nearest tenth. And so what we're going to do is we have our equation here, volume equals length times width times height. And we have some measurements here on our rectangular prism here. So we're going to label these. So 7.5 inches, we're going to label it as the length. 2 inches, we're going to label that as the width. And 4 inches, we're going to label that as the height. So after we label these, all we have to do really is just plug them into our equation. So volume is equal to, so we have 7.5 times 2 times 4. So in order to find the volume, let's go ahead and multiply these together. So 7.5 times 2 times 4 equals. So it gives us 60. And we got to make sure we have a label here. So we're measuring this. It's going to be in inches cubed. Let's go and try number 2. So we have a couple examples here. But we're always going to start with our equation, volume equals length times width times height. And let's go ahead and label our sides here. So when we label our sides, 4 is going to be the length, 5.1 is going to be the width, and 9 is going to be the height. And so let's go ahead and do this now. And so volume equals 4 times 5.1 times 9. And so all we do is have to multiply these numbers together. 4 times 5.1 times 9 equals 183.6, and we need a label on this. So our label is going to be in centimeters cubed this time. So now we're going to find the formula of a cylinder. So our formula to do a cylinder, it comes out to pi. So we're dealing with circles here. So our first part here is pi times the radius squared. So what we have right here, this part is just the area of a circle. So pi times radius squared, and then we're going to multiply the area of the circle times the height is our second part. So let's go ahead and figure this out. So we have our volume is equal to the equation to figure out the area of a circle times the height. And so right now we have some different parts here. And so let's go ahead and label these parts. 5 is going to be the radius. We notice that the radius starts in the middle and goes to the outside edge. And we have 15, that's going to be the height, so the total height of this cylinder. So we have those parts here. Let's go ahead and figure this out. So we have volume is equal to, we have pi is going to come out to 3.14. We're going to round that. Times our radius squared, so we have 5 squared. We're going to multiply that by our height is 15. So then we just got to do some order of operations. 5 squared comes out to 25. And we're going to rewrite our entire equation here. Now let's go ahead and multiply them all together. 3.14 times 25 times 15 gives us a volume of 1,177.5, and we're dealing with feet cubed here. So anytime we deal with volume, our label is going to be a cubic measurements. So let's go ahead and figure out this one. So we have, with our equation, volume equals pi times radius squared. So remember, that's the part of the area of just a circle. So now we're dealing with a cylinder. We're going to multiply it all by the height. And so we have some different parts here we need to label. So let's go ahead and label our height is the easy part for this one. So our height is 9 centimeters. But we notice that up here we have the diameter is going to be 6 centimeters. And so we could say that the radius, the part that starts in the middle and goes to the edge, is just going to be 3 centimeters because we only need the radius for our equation. So if you put in the diameter, you're not going to get the right answer here. We need to deal with the radius only for volume. So in volume, now let's go ahead and plug in some numbers here. Pi is going to be 3.114. Radius squared is 3 squared, all times our height of 9. So let's deal with our exponent first. So 3 times 3 is 9. And we're going to rewrite our entire equation here. Don't get in the habit of just plugging it all in the calculator, because if you make a simple mistake like 3 squared equals 6 instead of 9, I'm just going to assume that you went ahead and used the diameter instead of the radius. But as I'm going ahead and doing this, I'm multiplying these 3 numbers together to get a volume of 254.3, around to the nearest tenth, centimeters cubed. And so my label's in cubic is a cubic unit. And I can say that 254.3 centimeters cubed of pineapple juice can fit into this can. And so there we go. That is the end of our slideshow here. And so what we got going on, what I'm asking you to do next is you're going to go to your classwork notes. Check out your classwork notes, and hopefully this video worked out. Hopefully I can get my technical difficulties figured out. But next time, we will see you soon.